Right, there we go. Formalities. This week, that will be the session will be cut at that point and posted online from that point. Should have been done before. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I've got two other people that are interested because uh, I have dug some other holes. They're not shallow holes; they're deep holes. And I started to
Stop
expand.
digging!
Well, I just happened to be chatting with a few people on BU. Two people that just started going back to church and having questions about different aspects, which I have too. Our family just started going back, and for me, listening to ET, especially his albums on his sermons, uh, I'm taking a different perspective on organized religion, and it was for me, it's more of Jesus. Having been raised Catholic, it's like okay, well, let's remove all the dogma of Catholicism and really look and say, well, Jesus was kind of one of the first motivational speakers, as far as a lot of different things. So I've gone back to listen to religious sermons in that aspect,
Uh-huh.
and I've actually gotten a lot out of it and we've actually changed churches. One that I think a little more progressive in that aspect. So I just happened to be talking to a few people, and they're like, "Well, yeah, we're doing the same thing." Well, both of them were interested in what we're doing here. So I have two other people. So I once I would talk to the two of you or the three of you, I was just going to send them the links to some of the past things because they both were interested in coming on to talk about their different things. One is Tony Patterson, and he's been grinding at his 9 to 5 job, and he really wants to go into his passion, and he's finding it hard to find the right motivation. So he's kind of along the lines of wanting to start more of an entrepreneurial aspect.
So
And then
are you
April Schreck
so, so,
is yeah.
so just a question. So would that be somebody joining the group and their work would be planning to break out of the kind of matrix that they're in into what their
Well, the
dream would
way the
be?
way I told him, I said I would talk to the four of us together. Uh, right now, I feel we have a great dynamic. I don't know how adding people would gum up our process. So what I would like, just like you were saying, just kind of have one guest person on. Uh, maybe not every week, but every now and then. Like obviously, we're recording all these things so that anybody can see what we're doing, the four of us. Uh, and then if they want to talk to us and do basically a mastermind or hot seat or whatever, uh, they'd be more of a guest for that one Thursday, and then if it means them forming their own thing, well, hopefully I can help them with moderation, and Graham can help them with the actual Skype process and recording it if that's what they want to do. So I think it's just gestating right now. Like, what is it going to become? I don't want to mess up what we have here because I think we're all progressing very well, and I don't want too many voices, basically too many cooks in the kitchen. But I do want people to come in and feel like we are a resource and we can, you know, tackle, I guess, each issue as it comes, and then just kind of progress from there.
Okay, Jackie, can you give us some perspective on this? How do you feel?
Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. My only concern is with time. So if we have additional people in the group, we may have to set like time limits or something for the different topics on the agenda, or switch out weeks, like have certain people one week or certain people the next week, or switch out topics so that the second week we do hot topics. We would have to do something to kind of work with the time, I think would be my only observation.
Good work on the timer, by the way. Good,
Oh
good,
yeah, oh I
good.
love it. It's helping me study for my certification exams.
Yeah.
Big time, big time.
Success! Success!
That's
Wow.
pioneering right there. That's
Wow,
great.
we didn't even get that in the we didn't even get that in the meeting. It's just
Yeah, as far as resources, new resources. Yeah.
what's new? Well, not much, except I've completely revolutionized my studying technique.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've just built a rocket and gone to the far side of the moon. Apart from that, nothing much.
I
Oh
think
my.
I think there should be a process like we had talked before. Uh, Johnny's vision questionnaire. Have them record it themselves. Have them post it. Have them join the accountability page. Have them post it to that. If they do all that, obviously it looks like they're sincere, and
Question.
then we go from there. Yeah.
Question. Johnny's thing is far too complex. This is like it's good. It's very good, but I think for anybody coming into a group, it's far too complex. There's far too many questions. It's far too deep for a beginning. I think it should just be, this is me. This is what I do. This is what I'm doing right now. This is what I did in the past, and this is my vision for the future. This is what I'd like to see, and what I can give to the group, and what I'd like to get from the group. Done.
Yeah.
Not, not.
And something
Yeah. Sorry.
going to a barrier they have to cross. Just to see that legitimacy. But I think we should go ahead and just say, hey, if you want to join the accountability page, go ahead and do that. They can see what we're posting on the page versus what we post in VU, and then they can, if they want to participate, fine. It's basically creating our own group. I think where people start to see the type of process we're all going through.
Yeah, there is, but as Jackie pointed out, and you as well, really. There's a problem with time, right?
Yeah.
We have a problem getting in everything that we need to get in for ourselves, and if more people come into the group, it could be a slippery slope.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to commit
Jackie,
to Thursday
sorry, can we get Jackie wanted to say something? Yeah.
I'm just wondering, would it make sense for them to be part of the Facebook group and then everybody kind of form that video pod? So if you have, you have 4 people, maybe the 2 people kind of observe and, at what we're doing, and then they can go off and get 2 more people and they form their pod, kind of like we do with the break the chain type deal.
Yeah.
So we can all be in the Facebook group, but the recording, the meetings can be separate. I don't know.
No, I get that. Like I was saying, I think the way that we have formatted this, like as far as my moderation, I think it's good, And then the technical issues, as far as what Graham has done, it would be up to somebody, to go ahead and do that. So I would rather keep what we're doing more exclusive to the 4 of us. And I've told people, on Tuesdays we do kind of more of a casual, thing if we have time. Anybody that wants to meet and talk on Tuesdays is welcome. Like this last Tuesday, I think we were all busy. Nobody got on. So, we can have more of a casual Tuesday meetup where there's no agenda. Everybody's just talking or whatever. And, that could be more of an introduction. This is our meeting. This is what we have. This is our important stuff to do. And then just to, get people introduced, the Tuesday thing I think would work better. So, that's what I propose to the people that have asked me,
It seems like a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we want to keep the Thursday meeting exclusive to us, and I think Tuesday might be or having them at least start to participate on the page, and then if they want to go ahead and do some action. And like I've told people, I'm more open. Like my commute, it takes me 45 minutes to an hour to drive to work and 45 minutes to an hour to drive home. I'm like, you can call me, we can have a conversation if you want. I've done that with Alfonso. When his truck driving, he's talking to people all the time. So, there's times where I know I can definitely talk to people who might be interested in uh, in their process of trying to get their business up.
Yeah. Um, how long have you guys been doing the specific business that you're doing right now? I'm getting some
What's that?
feedback. I'm getting some
Yeah.
feedback from somebody's system. I'm hearing an echo. Anyway, how long have you guys been doing the specific business that you're doing at this moment in time?
Uh, since, since 2001, I went out. Well, I went out and got my own facility in 2001, so 15 years.
15 years. Okay, and Jackie?
Since 2001 as well.
2001.
And I narrowed my focus on just training, I want to say maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. Because when I started, I was doing like everything.
Okay. Um, I should. I was thinking about my own business because I've been doing this business for 12 years now, and I can't help thinking I should be further down the road than I am at this point. I can't
Well,
help.
I say the one thing, if you don't mind me, so like when I looked at Johnny's business statement, and then when I've looked at all the things that I've seen before and now taking a fresh look at, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be driving an hour to train people. There's plenty of people right, outside my door. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing right now when if what I should be doing is training people in my town, and not me, but I should be hiring people. Like, I have the expertise. Like, if I were to really look at exactly where I should be, it should be way beyond where I'm at right now. And it's like I start to make a new plan, and I'm like, I should be doing this at home, just like you were saying. It's like you're starting to go entirely online. I mean, for the most part, there are a lot of things I could go completely online about. So it's been difficult to be ambitious about promoting my location because I feel like, I could be putting all this energy into promoting a location that's 5 minutes away from me. So yeah, it's for me. The more educated and more of a progressive mindset that I'm getting, I feel like I'm wasting time doing it that far away. The way that I'm doing it, where I'm doing all the work. So
Mhm.
that's just been a challenge for me to try and keep some perspective on where I'm actually at and where I should be at.
Jackie, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are I agree with you 100%. And I think one of the reasons is that when we all started, there wasn't a coaching industry out here. There weren't people out here who were kind of giving business advice, real business advice to small business owners to say, if you head down that path, that's going to be a time suck. That's going to waste a couple of years of your life. Don't do that. You need to be trying to do this. So I think, just speaking for myself, but I think I can probably say it's true for you guys as well, is that we've done this ourselves. It's like trying to cut a path through the forest with a butter knife. We've kind of done all this stuff and figured out and made the mistakes and all of this stuff. And maybe in my case, if I had someone kind of guiding me, a lot, I could have avoided some of these things. And so a lot of times now I'll mentor other businesses and tell them, don't go there. That's not, that's not a good path. Focus on this, that, and the other. And so there's a lot of advice that I did not get starting out, because I didn't pursue it. Maybe I should have gone for found a business coach and got some coaching or something like that earlier on. So
But maybe that opportunity, I don't know if that opportunity existed. I mean, as people who are doing things which are quite original for ourselves, it's hard when you're maybe at the tip of the spear of something. It doesn't mean that you're the best in the industry doing it. It just means that you're in an area where there are not many people around about you who you can pull in and say, hey, what's the next step? Because what I'm realizing is that almost everything I've done for the last 5 or 6 years has been so completely unique that no one there's no one to ask what the next step is. No one's done it.
Well, I mean, I've had this question framed in different ways, but what I think it comes down to is like, for me, it's like if you um, if you were under not house arrest, but under arrest, you couldn't leave town. How would you continue to do your business? Well, there's plenty of people I could drive around. I could rent a place here. Like I almost rented a place, literally like 3 blocks from where I live. Uh, I just didn't have a thorough plan, and it got taken. But if you couldn't leave town, could you still do what you do?
What's
And well,
the
yeah,
what's
I figured it out.
what's the key question? What you got a question? What's the key question you have to answer
Well, that
there?
was just it. Like for me, because I I I work 48 miles from where I live. It's a
What's the
especially in
what's
California.
the
That's a
question?
huge.
What's the question about the town? If you can't leave your town, what's that question? What you keep mentioning the
What would you
question.
do? Well, how would you still make a living?
How would you still make a living
You couldn't. If I couldn't leave town.
if you couldn't
Like
leave town? Okay.
if you were under house arrest because you said you were going to do everything online.
Yeah.
If today you were under house arrest, could you still um,
Run
build your
your
business?
run your business.
You know,
Okay. And so that's a measure of what?
of well, yeah. I mean, is that what you really want to do? It's like, well,
Mhm.
I would like to not have to commute. Now, people have said, okay, well, if you don't want to commute, imagine if you couldn't leave town, could you build your business today, right now?
Mhm.
Like, could you in a month get enough clients to make a living, and in 6 months be able to start building your business here? Well, yes, if I had to. Well, then why don't you?
Mhm.
That's the question that has been posed to me by other trainers in the past. You know, like I could do it. I'm just not pulling the trigger on it.
Mhm. Well, we could do anything, couldn't we? We're just not pulling the trigger on it.
Back.
And my version of the question is, if I am not physically available to train, do I still have a business? If I travel or God forbid, I have to take some time off, for illness or whatever,
Hmm.
do I still have a business? And I don't.
Absolutely. That's my problem. That's my
Hmm.
massive problem. And I was going back through one of E.T.'s speeches, and he talks about the affiliate, getting the idea for the affiliate program from who is it, Bob Proctor or something, that he got the idea from, and he was like, "That's the next step." And he went back to his ETA and said, "Drop everything, stop everything, cancel every meeting, just everything on hold. Turn off the phones. Nothing. There's nothing happening until we implement this plan." And I'm sort of feeling that moment for entrepreneurs has to come sooner or later, where there's got to be a drop everything. This has got to be done to progress, to cover ourselves, and to make sure that we have that financial resource, or the human resource of other people that are around about us, who will support us if we have any problems like sickness or illness.
Yeah, there's a guy I wanted to look up. He's part of the Freedom University group that I'm in. He has a course called From CEO to Founder. Basically guiding people to be able to delegate everything in their business so that they don't have to be in charge of anything. They founded the company. They don't have to be in charge of anything. Everything is delegated. So I'm like, wow, I really want to look this guy up. So I'm gonna take a look at what he has to say, and I'll share if there's anything of significance. But yeah, it's like I said, it's like, okay, well, we'll have this accountability group. Let's do it. Let me look deep, as far as vision and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm wasting 2 hours of the day commuting, you know? And it's like I take Tuesdays and Thursdays off because I live so far away from where I'm at, I've consolidated. It's like I could train people 4 hours a day every day and not leave town, and still have a successful business, and then, aside from that 4 hours, the gym could be open here, for, you know, 18 hours a day and make money, So it's like I might should be putting so much effort into building the business that I have 48 miles away when I should be putting that energy into building a business right here where I'm not wasting 2 hours a day commuting. So it's been a struggle because it's like, well, if I had, yeah, if I had a financial cushion, sure, but I don't. So I can only do what I can do. And it's like, even with like like with the Facebook advertising, when I learn how to get cold leads to come in and start training with me, I can take that from the Long Beach, the 48 miles away, the Long Beach location, to where I live now. I could start advertising here, you know, to get cold leads, but I have to do it where I'm at right now. So I'm in the process.
Yeah, what's your perspective on time, Jackie, in traveling and getting to work and things like that?
Oh, I hate it. When I when I had a corporate job, I made my hours. Luckily, my boss, was a good guy. I made my hours 6 to 3 because I cannot stand being in traffic. It drives me crazy. So sometimes if I have to teach on the other side of town, I'd rather get an Airbnb over there just so I can wake up in the morning and go teach and not have to commute. So I cannot deal with it. Rudy, is there any place in your local area that you could sublease for now? Is it possible for that type of arrangement? So that, if you're doing the Facebook promotion, why not promote, if there's a space you can use part-time where you are now, maybe use the Facebook promotion to build that up. I don't know. It's just an idea.
No, I mean, that's the cold truth. Like, anything I do right now, I could put that same energy into building a business literally blocks from where I live versus 48 miles from where I live. And that's the hard thing but it's a it's a big process for me, because it's relationships. I mean, I have a small business. Everybody that I train, I know very well. It's like some of them are just beginning, some of them are in the middle of their journey to rehab a knee or artificial hip, or done with chemotherapy. I mean, I have all kinds of clients, and for me to just say, I'm gonna just close down, it's huge. It's not something I could just do, But
Well,
yeah, I should put that effort, like what you're saying. I should put that effort into looking at potential things locally as well. So,
yeah, because I don't think you necessarily have to close down the other location now, but just if you're going to put emphasis into building, maybe anything you're building should be at the new location. And maybe the people at the other location, maybe you can kind of consolidate those schedules so you can arrange it where some days you can be like Tuesday and Thursday that you're already home. Maybe those can be your days that you're at your gym that's local or something.
or to take it a step further, just like what Graham was thinking, is like I can start doing, at 49 years of age, I think I can say this now, you know, training other trainers to train clients. Like, I should start my own certification. That's where my energy should go, to an online thing where I'm training other trainers. Like, my retention, my I retain clients crazy. It's like my retention is through the roof. It's like I know how to build a community. I know how to talk to people. They're always comfortable. They always feel like they're cared for. I can teach that to other trainers. That's my unique selling point, is that bedside manner. I think I've mentioned that before. Nobody sells the bedside manner. Everybody sells closing the client and the ultimate fat burning workout. Nobody sells proper bedside manner for a fitness client. So that's an untapped market, and that's going to be my market when I get it started. that's something that I could do now versus even trying to have a brick and mortar business, outside my door. So it's like the more I dig, the more obvious I start to see how much time I'm wasting doing what I'm doing right now. So
Yeah, and we don't have time to waste, do we? Basically.
not anymore. Not at 49. Not with young kids.
Yeah. Um, let me let me give you a really bad example, just to throw it into the conversation. One of my neighbors is a complete bastard, and he just took over management of a hotel, and he gets his meals cooked for him, he gets his bed made for him, he gets his office cleaned for him. He basically does nothing the whole day, and makes about 5 times as much money as me. Now, he is a genius with money and in terms of business and calculations and all things like that. He's got a far greater brain in that sphere than mine. He's not going to get very far though, because he's pretty limited in his thinking. But he's already so much further down the road, and he hasn't even done anything yet. And I'm on the grinding wheel, grinding away, and I'm like, how the hell does he get that? And I don't. And it's not that I don't even want that. I'm just I should be better. I should be more organized. I can't let him get away with that. He can't win. It's not even a competition. I don't care. But I need to be at that level of knowledge, of organization. And I don't want to do what he's doing, but I want to have that space in my life to breathe that he's got in his life to breathe. Does that make any sense? I just thought I did throw that in there.
No, I mean it's financial independence. Really, it's not having to worry about money. Money's there. Like you're not worried about, you know, feeding your family. Like there's enough money for everything you want to do. And well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be people who find the angles. Like there are people that are just really good at finding the angles, and then there's people that have a passion that they need to pursue, and we just need to figure out how to become financially independent doing something of significance. So
Yeah, I don't
it's a
want
harder
to.
path.
I don't want to do less. It's not like, oh, I want to have more money and have more free time. When I talk about space, I don't mean free time. I talk about I have other creative pursuits and ideas that I want to follow to try to build things being rather than having to double and triple check I've got all the payments in and that I remember to pay everything I had to check this month, which is like an extra stress on top of anything else because I almost missed one payment last month for one thing, and I was just like, oh my god, how did I almost miss that? There's so much that I'm piling up on top of things that if it continues I'm going to make some silly mistake somewhere, and that's not good. So I got to be aware of all of these. I need that space to be aware, to make sure that everything is secure, rather than kind of grind myself into the ground and not be as I guess as useful as I could be within what I do.
And to quote Eric, I would just say make the decision, right? Because I have one soft skills trainer, but I've been plodding along on this for a good 12 months. You know what I mean? And so the sooner we make the decision, like the sooner Rudy makes the decision that I want to be local, then the sooner you can start putting energy after it, because it is going to take a while. And for you to get to that point.
Aha moment. It's the external stimulus that causes the decision, not the internal stimulus. Like if I had to make that decision for Rudy, the decision would have already been made. It would already be done. if it was up to me to make his decision for him, I would have made it for him already, because it's obviously the most obvious thing that needs to be done. Sorry.
Well, that's just it. Like I've gone over this for years. You know, raise one, raise your rates. Like there's a formula. Raise your rates. You may lose 30%, but if you raise your rates, because even if you lose 30%, you'll break even depending on. There's a formula, like I think I've said before. You know, raise your rates, hire people. You know, don't train anybody. Work on your business, not in your business. You know, I've had all these things in my head for a long time, and the thing is, as an introverted business owner, I haven't gotten them out and processed. But now that I'm talking to all of you, you know, it's there's accountability. Ta-da, abracadabra. You know, it's like I can't keep, you know, I can't keep bullshitting myself. This is the reality. Do it. It's like like these people now know your process. The next step is so obvious. Everybody knows it, and there's people that I trust now that know it as well. This is the step you have to take. So, you know, I think we are progressing that way in each of our careers right now, just from where we started, you know, 2 months ago. It's like I think we have had a lot of revelations on how we should be developing our businesses and how much man hours we should be putting in, you know, versus delegating.
Yeah, it's like when Jackie says to you, Rudy, why don't you do this? And this would seem like the next logical step, and you're like, well, yeah, that's kind of in the plan. And I'm thinking, why hasn't he done it already? Because it's obviously the most logical thing to do. And then I'm thinking, my God, I'm in exactly the same position. It's so clear. It's so obvious. Everybody knows what needs to be done. Is what's the psychological block? What's the mental block in my head that's stopping me from doing what everyone else knows needs to be done? It's only me and the make a decision point. You know, at the end of the day, basically, and it's all. If someone else were to come to me, they would tell me the same thing that you guys have told me, right? They'd tell me like, oh, you know, migrating it online is a good idea, and you know, there's you know, not just one focus in the market, but not just language teaching, but work on life skills and other things as well. It's a good way forward, and I'm taking such tiny little steps so slowly. Like I'm slowly going out on the ice, but you know the ice is like 12 feet thick, right? But I'm like, oh my God, I might crack and fall through the ice. Something bad might happen. I'm going so slowly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well,
it's that, like I said, it's not entrepreneur, it's solopreneur. It's like we're really even before we had our businesses, we knew what we wanted to do. Now we've done it. We've done it all on our own. Pat us on the back for that. But now that's it. You know, what's next? Well, now everything's on our shoulders. We don't have any delegation. We don't have any plan for expansion. We have a very deep passion for what we do. And because of that, we can't delegate to other people because we feel they're not going to have nearly the passion we have. So that just limits us as far as expansion. You know, and like I said, that's I think what we talked about early on. It's like we've hit that ceiling. Like, how do we get out of, you know, how do we get to the next level? You know, it's like we have to change what it is we're doing in certain ways. You know, we have to be able to delegate. Like we're not that CEO that's looking down. We're looking up. You know, okay, well, we've got all these people that we want to juggle now. Are we going to be happy doing that? You know, so it's.
So Jackie, how do you cope with these problems that Rudy and I are talking about?
Well, there's some specific things that I've done. For example, on my wall I have a list, and it says once I build my team, I will be able to. And every time I think of something that I can't do right now because my team isn't fully built, I'll put it on the wall. And so that's just something that kind of tells me that these are all the things I can't do right now because my team isn't fully built. That's my computer beeping, if you heard that. And then the other thing is, I said for 90 days, these are the things I'm going to focus on. If I get a bright, shiny object idea and it's not in one of these three areas, I'm not dealing with it. So, so just kind of keeps me focused on working on doing the things to build my team. And then the third point I want to make is, after we did that, one thing I did with this lady that I brought on is we did almost a full day of a dry run of her teaching the class to address what Rudy was talking about. So I could kind of see her in action and give her pointers and really feel that when she goes to the client, she's thoroughly prepared. And so, taking her through that, and I just have to kind of resign myself to it that certain things are not going to happen until I build my team. And I tell you, after that engagement, it's like Saturday morning, I could not quiet my mind because I'm thinking, if I do this 5 more times, what a better position I will be in as a result of having done it. So like the pain, remind yourself of what you're missing out on by not taking that step. And that pain will give you the motivation to find a way to take that step.
Remind yourself of what you're missing because you're not taking that step. That's a really pertinent point there. Definitely. And an endless list of things we could be missing out on as well. So.
Well, I think, there's the upward expansion with personnel and all that, and I think that's the natural progression. But there's also a horizontal expansion where, like I was saying, it's like, okay, well, I've said this before and I still believe it. I always want to train people. Like I have a gift, I have a healing gift. But I would be happy training people 20 hours a week. Like, half a day. I always want to do that, but I can't have a facility. I know how to run a facility. But I do want to teach other trainers. So that could be more of a horizontal expansion away from like my identity is being a trainer, training people 20 hours a week at my facility. But my horizontal expansion is letting other trainers train people at that facility, me training other trainers at that facility. It's not so much an upward expansion, it's more a horizontal expansion of where I'm at. So that I do have my hand in a lot of different pots as far as helping maintain the facility and helping train other trainers. Would I be more comfortable having my hands in all these, hopefully deep pots, not shallow pots, versus the upward expansion where there may be employees I barely speak to because, I'm the founder, I'm no longer the CEO. Am I going to be happy in that model? I think there's more than one model you need to look at. Like, do I want to have a company that, I don't really touch, Am I going to be happy doing that? Versus the horizontal expansion where, okay, well, on Tuesdays, I talk to, my trainer students on, whatever subject, on doing evaluations. On Wednesdays, I've got my 4 hours of clients that I train. That horizontal expansion versus vertical expansion, I think you have to look and see what's going to make you more satisfied as a person, and then kind of building your business that way too.
Yeah, and I think of it as horizontal because I'm bringing on more people who can provide training to more clients. So to me, it's kind of like horizontal. But for the time being, in order to kind of make that cut, I've kind of taken myself out of doing training just until I get enough people. And then I can go back, I can kind of go back to providing the training. In addition to which, I've reached out to companies that I've subcontracted for and told them I'm available to do subcontracting. So I can do subcontracting for them, but for my company, I want to force myself to bring people on and train them to do that work. So it's kind of like the same deal.
Yeah.
Makes
Your Graham, your assistant doesn't do any teaching. You don't have a. Do you have a teaching assistant doing teaching?
No, I have this quality problem with most with most teachers. I just look at what they do and I'm never really satisfied with it. They seem to be happy with doing the minimum, and with the one or two that are good, I know that they're gonna go and do something else, because if they're good, they shouldn't be doing this. They should be providing other value in other places. So I and it's not that, oh, I don't want to hand over put my school in the hands of other people. It's not that. I don't have a problem with handing something over to someone who's doing some quality work. I do honestly believe that my institution provides something absolutely unique and has no parallel or equal institution of this kind in this country. And that by bringing on other people, it would drag it down, not up.
Well, I think, for me, what I've done is my basic boot camp. It's very basic. It's about 60 exercises done in an hour. It covers all aspects of long-term health, and it's written down. It's like when I can like take a vacation, and my assistant can do that boot camp, and everybody's gonna at least maintain. But the thing is, it gets a little boring if you do that all the time. And I tell people that's the foundation. Like, these are the foundation exercises. And then I take people's individual things and I say, okay, well, you're stronger here. Let's go ahead and do 20 minutes of work here. Or you have a bad shoulder. Let's go ahead and do the Pilates machine. That's when it becomes more dynamic. But I do have that module of basic, basically you just have to tell them what to do off of this list. And I've gotten that far as delegating. I mean, do you feel like, is there like basic lessons you can have somebody take over and say, these are the foundations, you just need to learn these foundations. Graham doesn't need to teach you these, he needs to talk to you once you have these foundations down?
Unfortunately, I've got an echo coming back again. So unfortunately, again, the quality of what the teachers understand about what is happening is in general quite low. And I've written a whole course on how to teach grammar, and I presented it to a few teachers, and most of the feedback I got was, we didn't understand that. And I'm not sure I want to go there again. I have a fixed mindset, I think, in that area, where I think the kind of people who are attracted into that institution in this country. Now, you have to remember that teachers in Slovakia are paid only 10%. Good teachers in Slovakia are only paid only 10% of what a teacher in America would get. Yeah, so most are paid less than 10%. And average living costs are, probably similar for all the basic necessities of life, right? So teachers here are quite in quite a difficult or poor situation. If so if a teacher here eats out, they're considered to be rich. The best thing that can happen to a teacher is they can marry someone who's not a teacher, so that they can afford to have a house or a car or something, because they can't, on their teacher's salary, afford any of those things. So it's quite a tough social sphere for that kind of thing where education is not a highly rated, what would it be, a service with within society. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not highly rated anywhere. I'm not really sure. But it's harder here for people in that sphere, and the kind of people who are attracted into teaching. I, maybe this sounds like an excuse, but I swear it's not. There are those who don't really know what to do with the life, and the government kind of corrals them into one corner, and everyone with a brain goes and does something else because they know they can't make enough money teaching. I don't know, does that help? I don't know if that helps.
Well, that's the thing. That's my question to you. Like, what's your plan to expand your business? I mean, you're not going to bring on other instructors. You're going to do everything yourself still.
I think I'm going to go that way. I think that I'm going to build myself up as somebody who provides services that other people can, and increase the price that I offer for what I do, and keep it as selling myself to other people rather than building up a business. There's a percentage of that which is fear of the unknown, and there's a percentage of that which is security, in that I know exactly what I can do, where I can do it, when I can do it, and I'm comfortable with that fact that I can deliver.
So, is that why you're going online, so that you can automate your lectures, or?
I'm going on. Am I going online? It's a plan. It's preparation for the next stage. So I think there's no other way but to do that slowly. And the reason for going online is so that I could do what I do from anywhere, and I'm free to travel. So it doesn't matter where. I from anywhere in the world I can do my job or my work. I can provide my services from anywhere, so I can be in one country one day and a different country the next day, and still provide that. Because with what I'm doing right now, if it stays the same, the next 20 years of my life will be a 5 square mile area of the planet. You get my kind of picture there, and the world is a bigger place, and I'd like to experience some of it. So I want to be able to be flexible with my movement, and if I'm selling my house as part of that right now. I don't want to be absolutely totally grounded and fixed in one area. 5 years ago I did, now I don't. And then eventually I want to get rid of my office and have everything online, and just be able to float or drift in that sense, which is kind of a big dream. Yeah, it's all the things I'm doing are slowly going in that direction, and it might be even to eventually do very little work in teaching, but a lot of work in coaching. And I've got 4 or 5 books that I want to write and get published, and I've got everything sketched out for that, and that's like a 15-20 year plan to get those books out.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the whole process we've had in the last 2 months is just, we're evolving more of what we really want to do. So that's all good. That's all good stuff. It's like, I mean, to get there, yeah, you need a plan.
That was
like
a good question that made me sweat, mate. That question made me sweat.
Yeah. So all right. I'm gonna have to sign off. I have to go pick up my children. But good after party, dude.
Good after the party. I'm gonna sign off as well.
Okay.
Thanks,
California, dude. So
good after party.
Yeah.
I don't know what people in the South say, but anyway, I just made that up. So have a good afternoon, guys. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you later.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm still. We have to hold Johnny to some account. He's got to do some video report of what he was supposed to do.
He just ran off.
Yeah,
He
it was
just.
like no, like all of a sudden, like I'm just not going to be on the call. Sorry, guys. Bye. What? All right, I get it, but
I don't know.
you got to tell us what's going on. Accountability.
He's probably reading through a tractor magazine or something. He's just so engrossed
Something.
in it that he's just. I can't get away from the fact that he was doing something with a tractor a couple of weeks ago. It just keeps coming around my head. I can't imagine him sitting in a tractor on a farm somewhere.
About a 3-hour drive for me, but I could probably go see what he's doing. But maybe another time. So.
Okay,
Anyway,
same time
I'm
next
signing off.
same time next week. Are we up for that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. All
Okay.
good stuff.
Yes. Stay online
Care.
and stay cool, and I'll speak to you soon.